Okay, ran out of time on the other video there. Also, I had to shut the window. They're doing some garden work outside, so I was getting a little bit noisy. But, are you going here? Yes, we are. Good. Okay, let's see. Where I left off, I was talking about stances. The bow stance is the typical one for Tai Chi Chuan. It's with one foot forward, pointing forward, the other foot back a little bit, usually at a 45-degree angle, sometimes 90-degree, preferably 45. And the weight shifted between one or the other. Here the weight's forward or weight's back. Very seldom is it both. This is kind of an illustration, my little stick figures here. Here we have the forward foot. Here, here's the back foot at a 45-degree angle. Very similar to a Western fencing stance, except for the fact that the fencing stance usually the rear foot's at 90-degree angle. Just about always. Now, let's see if I can get back to my notes here. That's the stance, and I talked about the flow. Now, the relaxing is, I've got to get into some details here. Relaxing is a key element of Tai Chi Chuan. You have to relax to do it. And when you say relax, it's different than what most people think. The word in Chinese is song, and it's spelled S-O-N-G, just like a song that you sing. If we were to do like a bar graph and have what we call relaxation, which is basically being limp like a noodle, make that 100%, song would be at probably about 97% of what we consider relaxation. That little bit of tension, it's not even really tension, what it is energizing. It's energy, it's chi. You have that chi, and the chi is active. So that's the state you want to be in. It's a little bit tricky at first, but when you do it, it actually comes into play very easily. It feels rather natural. You have to start out and relax all your muscles, and then I usually tell people, relax your facial muscles. It seems like a simple thing to do. Of course you're going to relax them, but we tend not to. Because for one thing, we're concentrating on the form. We're learning something. As we learn it, we're concentrating even harder. And sometimes we're even just by trying to be focused, we're concentrating. And how do we concentrate? Well, one of the best examples in the West of how we concentrate is Rodin's statue of the thinker. What is it? The brow is stern, firm. That's how we consider someone's thinking. Their muscles are tense stuff. The problem is when your facial muscles are tense, the rest of your body is slightly tense too. So you can relax your body, but if you don't relax those facial muscles, your body's still a little bit tense. Relax your facial muscles, not only relax those muscles, relax the rest of your body a little bit as well. And the tongue is very important in Tai Chi Chuan. The tip of the tongue should be touching the roof of the mouth, just behind the two front upper teeth. Relaxed again. It needs to be this way. What this does is it completes a chi meridian, so it makes the energy flow more smoothly. However, when you do it, you'll feel energized, you'll feel relaxed. It's a great way to meditate too. I sometimes tell people if they're at work and they're feeling over anxious about something or stressed out or something, just close your eyes, put the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and breathe. Now we're going to get to the other aspect of Tai Chi Chuan, breathing. A lot of martial arts, you breathe out through the mouth. In yoga, you breathe out through the mouth. In Chinese, regarding Tai Chi Chuan, there is a saying, the mouth is for eating, the nose is for breathing. So we breathe in through the nose, we breathe out through the nose. At the same time, think of yourself as smiling. Don't smile because you want to relax your facial muscles, but think of yourself as smiling. This is known as cultivating the inner smile. Think of yourself as smiling. Think of the joy of doing Tai Chi Chuan and other things that make you happy. It helps to cultivate the inner smile. I apologize too. I'm trying to correct myself. I tend to my voice tends to trail off sometimes. I'm trying to correct myself with that. Hopefully it doesn't happen so much here when I'm this close to camera, but I know it does happen, so I apologize if I happen to do that. Now, Tai Chi Chuan, I'm going to go back into the martial aspect a little bit. The kicks, we do kicks. The kicks are low, not more than waist high. I don't even like waist high because we're going to hit there. Nothing really. A kick, my forte before Tai Chi Chuan was Kenpo. And in Kenpo, traditionally in Kenpo, they're mostly low kicks. Some people have infused a little bit of Taekwondo or Tang Soo Do into Kenpo, and they do the high kicks. And of course, you see a lot of high kicks on television and movies. Why? Because it looks good in front of a camera. When it comes to self-defense, it's not very practical at all. In fact, in Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee did not advocate high kicks, and yet you saw him doing it on camera in his films and on the Green Hornet TV series. You saw him do it all the time because it looked good. But he knew in a self-defense application it was not practical. So to me, the kick shouldn't really be higher than the groin, and maybe even you would want to target the knee for the shoot. Now, and oh yes, the kicks are usually toe or heel, and there is something called a lotus kick. Once again, this is traditionally done as a rather high kick, a waist high, similar to what is taught in other martial arts as a front crescent kick. Again, I do not like the lotus kick or the front crescent kick. I don't think it's very practical. And now, leaving that behind, we're getting into the fist. As anyone who's practiced martial arts before, they'll know a lot of martial arts, especially the Japanese, the fist is this. Okay. Trying to get it on camera there. It's horizontal, and you're hitting with these two knuckles here. There we go. You're hitting with these two knuckles here, because these are bigger knuckles, right? But if you look at the back of the hand, draw a straight line from that knuckle back. What do you have? Nothing. The middle, second one, you got some bone. That one, you got nothing. Tai Chi Chuan, as well as a lot of other Chinese arts, the fist is vertical, and you're hitting with these two knuckles. Here and here. The idea, once again, we look at the back of the hand, there's plenty of bone, plenty of arm behind those two knuckles, so they consider it more reinforced that way. Also, the fist in Tai Chi Chuan is not a hard fist like that. It's soft and relaxed. And if you are striking in a martial application, you clench the fist at the last moment. Right before impact. Yeah. Right before impact. And a good description of this, actually, I was watching an old movie once called Scaramouche. And Scaramouche is a lot about fencing. And the instructor's telling the lead actor, how to hold fencing foil. And the way he explained it was perfect, because I thought at the time, that's a perfect analogy of a Tai Chi Chuan fist. But as he said, you have to hold it like you're holding a bird. Hold it too loose, it's going to fly out of your hand. Hold it too tight, you'll crush it. Smother it, perhaps even crush it. So you want it just nice and relaxed like that. Like you're holding a small bird in your hand. There are weapons used in Tai Chi Chuan, some traditional ones. Tai Chi broadsword, which is sometimes called Tai Chi knife. I don't like it when people say knife because people think you're talking about, a small knife about this size here. And actually, they're talking about a long knife, which is about 30 inches. I just call it by its Chinese name, which is a shuang dao. It's similar to working out with a machete, really. It's a single-edged blade. The other sword is Tai Chi straight sword. In China, it's called a jian dao. This is known as a scholar's sword. The civilians carried it for self-defense. There was also called a gin dao, which is a broader version of that, broader, thicker metal. That's what was used by the military. But Tai Chi Chuan, we're talking about the jian dao. There's also a stick or staff. Typically, this is a long staff. Personally, I prefer Zhou staff, a short staff, which is be anywhere from 48. Well, actually, with mine, it's 45. So 45 to 54 inches long. The typical American Zhou staff is 48 inches. Zhou staffs are actually the Japanese origin, but I find them much more practical than a long staff of 6 foot, like a bow staff. And either one can be used in Tai Chi Chuan, in my humble opinion. That is probably the only one of these weapons that has any modern application, because a lot of people are going to use a staff like that for hiking. What would you use it for just regular use? Well, I advocate the cane, as a lot of people have noticed. And there are a lot of Tai Chi schools that teach forms using cane. Some teach basically the sword form and just put the cane in its place. I discovered one demonstration on YouTube of a school that teaches, basically it's the regular form slightly adapted to use with a stick or a cane. Which makes sense because martial arts, the weapon is usually seen as just an extension of your body. So the movement you make is not unlike throwing a fist. You just have something in your hand that's going to make contact instead of your fist because it gives you longer reach, or perhaps it's a bit harder or sharper. The nice thing about a cane, the reason I say it's practical for self-defense, is because it's legal anywhere. You don't need a permit for it. You don't need to draw it because you're carrying it in your hand. It's already there, ready, ready for use. It actually creates a physical distance between you and the opponent, as opposed to pepper spray or something like that. They have to get through the stick to get to you. Also, like I said, it's legal anywhere. You could take a cane on an airplane, for crying out loud. So and they're not very expensive. It's a very useful tool. The downside of it is if someone takes it away from you, they can use it against you. Therefore, no one should be carrying a cane for self-defense unless they know, one, how to keep it in their hand when someone tries to take it away from them, and two, how to defend against it if someone should use it against them. That's basic self-defense anyway. If you're going to know any self-defense, you need to know how to defend yourself against weapons, clubs and knives especially. Guns are the this is going to surprise a lot of people. Guns are the ones that are more easily defended against because the gun itself doesn't pose a threat. As I always say, guns don't kill people, bullets kill people. So you just have to, it depends really on how far away the person is from you. If they're standing at a distance that you cannot reach them in a second, you do what they say. Throw down your wallet, do whatever, because obviously they're not interested in coming, doing you physical harm anyway from that distance. And it does look like they're going to shoot, then duck and cover. If they come up close, so they are obviously going to physically assault you, or they surprise you and put the gun right to your head, something like that. Well, they made their own mistake. Now they're in your dynamic spear is more usually used to call it, and you can defend yourself. And defending against a gun is very not that bad because the gun, like I said, it's not the gun that's dangerous, it's the bullet that's inside the gun. A knife, on the other hand, has the sharp edge right there. You could cut yourself on it. Even if the guy is not trying to stab you with it, you could cut yourself trying to take it away from the guy or defend you against it. The club, you could accidentally, bang your